Okay, good. The Hangout on Air is live. Hi, everyone. This is the Flat Earth Teachers. I'm going to start by playing something really quick here, just so everybody can get on. I hope you can hear this. You got me going in circles. Can you hear that, Karen? Oh, round and round I go. You got me going in circles. Okay, I don't want to get a strike for that, a copyright strike, but that is like the theme. That is my theme for what's going on in our world. There's some things. You can unmute now, Karen. And I'm going to say that is the mantra of the public school system. Going in circles. Yeah. So here we are today, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But today is most of the Christians celebrate Resurrection Sunday today, and I know that there's some question about whether it's really today or not. But please don't call it Easter. At least let's take that one step towards recognizing what really happened and getting away from Easter, which is about bunny rabbits and a figure with many, many bosoms. So that's Ishtar. So we shall get away from that, and we will have, now don't tell me that you can't get back on. Let me see, I can't, let me see if I can, oh, wait. Microphone? I want to see if I can do your microphone. Oh no. I can't unmute you.
I got it.
Oh, good job.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, let me get this one back around.
We are good. We're good. Let me see if I...
All right. I'm here.
That's good. Good to know. I wonder what the chat looks like. See if I'm on here as a live event. Yes. Let me get that on there.
My screen says live.
I want to just get this up here, and I'm wondering if I can find the chat. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's Mikey Smith. Hey, that's awesome.
Hey, Mikey.
Yes, let me see if I can give you a wrench. Mikey, put timeout. Add moderator. Mikey Smith is now a moderator. There you go.
Awesome.
And there's Realm Walker. Let me see. Happy Resurrection. Yeah, Mikey Smith and Realm Walker. Is there anybody else on today? Is there anybody else on today? Let me see. I'll make Realm Walker a moderator too. Because you guys, you got to watch and take care of anybody using foul language. And so we should do good here. We have a couple of things. I'm sorry, Karen?
I was just going to say, not just the foul language, but being disrespectful and name calling. You know, I don't like to hear that. I mean, we're all brothers and sisters, and we should not be treating each other like this. And if someone is not already a has the knowledge of flat Earth. I think that we need to be respectful to them. If they are being respectful, we should be respectful in answering their questions instead of just calling them out right away.
Okay, so I'm going to have one little caveat to that, and that's going to be because I have already called somebody a name that I'm going to talk about that on the show today. So so I want to leave that room for someone. You can call them a name that's not ugly.
Right.
to drive home a point. So
right.
Okay.
And I agree with you on that name.
Yeah, cool. All right. So our first topic today is how to teach. We are the Flat Earth teachers, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to teach. Now, I'll tell you what has been all accepted, and nobody ever challenged this. So I'm going to challenge it right now, is that it has been accepted that, oh, you can do your own thing. Every flat earther can do their own thing when they're out there teaching or activism. And do your own thing. Yeah, everybody can do it their own way and all this stuff. Well, okay, I'm gonna change that. Okay. First off, I tried to get a mission statement. And a lot of people, even though they contributed to that mission statement, they still withdrew from it and did not promote it and would not latch on to a mission statement. And then they also promoted the idea that you do your own thing. Everybody can, activism out there any way they want to. Well, I don't think so. I think that needs to change. And I'm going to tell you the greatest movement that caught on had ground rules. So we need to have those ground rules. Okay, we are coming about it too slowly. And so somebody needs to just flat out say it. We need ground rules. Now, the movement that I'm talking about, even though you may not be Christian, it's the Christian movement. Now, what happened there? Jesus came into the picture and he had ground rules. He laid out those ground rules. And it was life, truth, and the way, which is love and kindness and the fruits of the Spirit, all those things. So I'm going to tell you that there are going to be ground rules. You know what? You don't like that? You're going to do your own thing anyway, aren't you? But these ground rules are going to give guidance to all sincere flat earth teachers. Okay? And this is not the first time this has been brought up. I think it's the third or fourth. Because we did a video on that when I was with a previous group. That one of the things was that you shouldn't really have the camera on yourself. You should be turning it. If you're going to be video recording it, we want to see what the other people are doing. It's about them, their reaction, how to teach, what they react, how we can look at that and know how to combat somebody's objections. All these things are teaching tools. So this is why we're the flat earth teachers, and we have to learn how to teach. We have to learn how to overcome objections and really get this rolling. I want 2019 to be the biggest flat earth teaching year yet. Okay? So in order to do that, we have to have these ground rules. So do your own thing? No. You want to teach flat earth, you want to really make some headway. And one of the guys made this huge objection. Oh, I'm not seeing any results. Okay, mister, listen up. You want to see results? Then you start teaching and teaching the right way and not just going out there complaining and saying, oh, nothing's happening, being Mr. Negative. No, that's done for. You are not going to be considered a flat earth teacher unless you follow the ground rules. Okay?
Well, if I could just interject something right there, because we don't see the result. We don't always see the results of our teaching. So, who knows? I mean, you may feel like you didn't reach anyone, but you don't know how many people went home and got on the computer and started researching.
Yes, I've said that many times too, Karen.
Yes, and we're planting seeds.
I said it to this.
We may never see the harvest of the seed that we planted.
I said the same thing to this guy several times, and he never got it. Now he's on to some other things. So his heart was really not true flat earth. That's what I am surmising from this. So let him go on his little merry way. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to put investment of my time into people who are sincere and focused on teaching flat earth. This is what this channel is about. This is what this broadcast is about. We are focusing on teaching how to teach, teaching the teachers. So why are you not teaching? That's the next step of this. Why are you not out there teaching? Okay. Well, Thessalonians 2:18. That's why you're not teaching. And at the end of that verse, it says, because Satan has put an obstacle in your way. That's what this is about. If you're not out there teaching, then Satan has put an obstacle in your way. There is some obstacle there. And we need you to bring that obstacle to us and tell us what that obstacle is so we can help you overcome that obstacle. I need to learn where to look. I see my eyes are not always where they should be. So, so you bring those obstacles, you put them in the chat. I'm going to try and monitor the chat a little bit today. I don't know if I can walk and chew gum. I don't know if I can do that, but I'm going to try because it's very important that you all see and start communicating with us and learning how to get to these things.
And one thing about, I think a big obstacle or excuse that people will use is that, well, I'm not a very good speaker, or I'm shy. I can't just walk into a crowd of people and start talking. But there are things that you can do to teach. If you're petrified to stand in front of a group of people, which a lot of people are, but one thing about that is if you step out of your box, step out of your little comfort zone and just do it once to where you get that feeling of what you're doing. And every time you do it, it gets easier and easier. So that would be one thing I would say to someone who says that they're too shy, or if you feel like you don't know enough to teach people, then continue your research. Get to the point where you know. It took me almost a year to decide that, well, I think I know enough, I can start talking to people. I mean, I had to research it for a long time before I felt confident in telling someone else, because we don't want to fumble around and say, oh, well, and we want to know what we're talking about. So if you feel like you can't do it because you don't know enough, you need to just continue your research and, pray for confidence.
Yes, exactly right. The other thing is there's many ways of working up to speaking to someone in public. And that is one at a time. The first thing you do is set a goal. Talk to one person a day. Now, Karen has said she's talking to, her goal is 3 people a day. So you can start with cards, just slipping cards in someplace. You can, Dave Gessner, he put a new picture up about the stickers, where to put the stickers. And what was a surgery waiting room? Uh-oh, does that mean his wife's in surgery? I better call him today. So put the sticker, and there was this magazine, it was awesome, where there was some great headline, and he put the sticker right over top of the last word. So it looked like this great headline was all about flat earth. It was awesome. It was awesome. So yes, using those stickers is really a great idea. And
and that, I mean, we can consider that as getting the word out, teaching, because another thing about not being able to speak to people, just put a sticker, leave a business card.
yes,
You know, that's teaching.
yes.
You're
Now,
planting a seed.
yeah. So why have we gotten away from talking to each other? The art of communication. Why have we gotten away from that? Because number one was television. We just sit at home now, and we don't do any face-to-face communication. I remember when I was young, and I've shared this before, how there was 3 or 4 families. We used to visit each other on a Sunday evening. We all had like kids of the same age, so we'd get the kids together and whatnot. And you know, people used to talk, like even down south, it's better. They still have that friendly, welcoming attitude, you know, hello, how are you, kind of on the street. And I've always taught my kids that when I'm with them, they certainly can talk to people. There's no problem with that. So if you're shy, then figure out why you're shy. Figure that out. It's a problem, because you're not going to get the interaction with other people that you need. You need that interaction. The other thing is, now we have the phones. You're always with a face in a phone. So put the phones down and start looking up at people walking towards you on the street. So there's a lot of things to this. It's a bad thing. Not communicating is bad. I'm going to say it's sinful. So let's get rid of these sins in our life, right? Let's get rid of all this negativity. Let's start communicating with people. Don't be afraid. And I know they put a lot of things in our society that you're afraid to say something. Like if you say, hi, guy, and it's really a girl or a tranny, I mean, what are you going to do? So
everyone's offended at the drop of a feather. I'm offended.
Yeah. So
you know,
get over it. You know, you can always walk away. So all right. So there we have, why are you not teaching? So there's absolutely a reason why you're not teaching. So Karen did a little research this week. We were talking about chemtrails and vaccines, and both of those contain heavy metals. So she did a little research on that this week. So I'm going to let her talk for a little bit. So go ahead, Karen, touch on that subject.
Okay, well, if everyone out there, if you haven't heard of Dr. Mercola, I've been following him for many years. He is my go-to doctor. Even though I can only get information online, he's still my go-to doctor. He's a natural doctor, homeopathic, holistic. But I found this article that he did. It's titled "Poisons and Deficiencies May Be Causing Autism Epidemic." Now, I was not familiar with how quickly autism has become an epidemic, but in the last 10 years, it has risen like crazy. And for example, in the year 2000, autism was found in 1 in 150 children. And now it is 1 in 59. 1 in 59 children have autism. Now, autism is not detected in a child until they're 3 or 4 years old. They can't detect it yet until then, from what I'm reading. Dr. Mercola is saying that, I'm just going to read it to you. Another major cause of autism is thought to be environmental in nature, with exposure to toxins and nutrient deficiencies among the possible culprits. The rapid increase in numbers during the last few decades supports a major role in environmental factors over genetic causes alone. The other possibility is that the environmental factors may be contributing to activate the genetic or epigenetic mechanisms of development of autism. And this was in the Journal of Heavy Metal Toxicity and Diseases. Some experts believe autism development starts in the womb, with environmental exposure during this time playing a crucial role. However, children are not typically diagnosed until they're around 3 or 4, which is often too late to link the condition back to a certain end womb exposure. So, and they've done tests on baby teeth that have shown 32 pairs of twins and 12 individual twins for the study. They were able to use lasers to analyze growth rings in the teeth, which begin to form during the second trimester of pregnancy. The rings revealed exposure to heavy metals as well as certain mineral levels, linking the exposures and nutrient levels with key periods of development, even prior to birth, much like the rings on a tree. So you know how we can tell the history of a tree by its rings, and I guess the teeth from children can show this also. But the nutrients that are lacking are zinc and manganese in the teeth. They have a deficiency. Autistic children have a deficiency of these, and they have found that in the teeth of children. Well, the main thing I wanted to talk about with that is chemtrail, because of the toxins that they are spewing out on us from chemtrails. Now, before these chemtrails started happening, we had a very low case of autistic children. But now that we're being bombarded with these chemtrails, all of a sudden autism is now an epidemic. So I think that is definitely has something to do with the chemtrails because of their toxicity. So if anyone wants to look at this full, because it was like, I think 15 pages, but if you want to look at the article, you can find it on drmercola.com. And this article was dated June the 13th, 2017.
Okay, June 13th, 2017. Okay, what I saw something about autism like years ago, and the most impressive thing was, how do you have a genetic epidemic?
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a genetic epidemic.
Right.
So, and that's what they were calling it. Like, so why would they be calling it that? Because we're not thinking, or they wanted to mislead us again into thinking that, oh, well, there's something wrong with those people's genes. So
yeah. Oh, it's my fault that my child has autism.
Yes.
It's my fault.
Yes.
No,
it's not.
Now, I am not saying that genes have nothing to do with it, but because I have not researched the gene aspect of it.
Well, I did enough to know that I don't think there's any connection there at all.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it just in the same way that there's DNA and there's RNA. Did you know RNA can affect our system, but RNA can also be reversed. It's how your organs work. The DNA says you're going to get a liver and you're going to get 2 kidneys, you're going to get eyes and all that stuff. That's what DNA says. But RNA says this is what you get inside those organs and parts to help them to function properly. So RNA can be reversed back to a healthy level. We're finding there's some fantastic claims that I would never think, but about doing homeopathic remedies and detoxing, that RNA can actually change physical appearance. And I think that's like wild. It's fantastic to even think that, but you know what? It's possible. I think it's possible. So don't eliminate anything. And you and I, as flat earthers, we should know that we never dismiss anything. Always kind of leave it there on the table and say, well, I don't see the evidence for that right now. Or whenever I read something that sounds wild, I just file it somewhere and then just keep that there and think, okay, if that's going to be true, then I have to find something else that will help to make that,
to support it.
Yeah, plausible. So that's the way we should do with everything. Is just because I'll tell you, we have been not been raised and trained in a school system that allows for any of that. All those old things, all the ancient wisdom has been almost completely eradicated from our society. So we need to get that back. We're finding more and more of the ancient wisdom. Look what they're doing. They're burning down the Notre Dame just to get rid of the spire, the energy collecting spire. Why else would they have burned that down? You've got to know it's not some random hunchback guy.
Right.
Really? Come on. So,
and with our recent research into, the mud floods and the Tartarian peoples, and we're learning about similar buildings that were destroyed long ago. And I don't know, I guess they left a few of those buildings around, but I think one reason why this directed energy weapon that started the fire at Notre Dame, I think that was to destroy the evidence, because people are waking up and catching on.
yeah.
And we know that we can have free electricity.
Yes, absolutely.
So they're trying to destroy the evidence that teaches us and shows us how that is possible.
Right, and we also have the clues that the ancient cathedrals were really healing centers, and they don't want us finding any healing centers or how to do it. So they're going to want to destroy all those. That's why the churches are being hit.
Right, exactly.
Yep, it has nothing to do with religion. And tell all your Muslim friends that it has nothing to do with religion, and they are going to be hurt too, because all this ancient wisdom is something that they could benefit from as well.
Right.
So, yeah. So there we go. So the other part of that is government or those controlling the vaccines and chemtrails. Why would they have to do this? I've heard that those in power think that they are superior to us.
Yes.
So if it's true that they truly are superior to us in intellect and physical and all that, if they truly are superior to us, then why do they have to attack us in our brains, especially?
Right.
Maybe it's because they know they are inferior and they have to degrade us so they appear superior.
And that's how Satan works.
Yeah.
That's how he works. He's like,
so
he is superior.
Yeah.
And
so he wanted to be it. He wanted to be God. And so he had to take a third of the angels with him, right?
Right.
Come here, Penny, lay down. I'll keep her in here if I can, Mom. We have the dogs going on here today. Why don't you put the little ones out in their pen? Stay here, Penny. Okay, stay here, Penny. All right, sorry for the interruption, but we have my sister's pit bull is here, and I have the 4 little dogs, and she's looking at them thinking, let me put a bun on them, So they're not real friendly. Well, so far she hasn't attacked. So anyway, All right. So there's the vaccine and chemtrails. I think we touched on that pretty good, right? Anybody else have
Right.
anything in chat? What does that mean, Mikey? Option number 2, take a gun. What does that mean? I have no idea. You're silly. Okay, so number 5 I have on the list here. Eric Dubay versus Benjamin Owen. So Eric Dubay put out this video, and he did an excellent job. Bravo, Eric Dubay, for putting out that video. You had all your ducks in a row, and you didn't dress up like Benjamin Owen, which was great, because I don't like the way you did that before, especially dressing up like that woman, because you did not look attractive. And you're an attractive, handsome young man, so I think you ought to keep your good appearance. But I love the way you did this video, because Benjamin Owen is a coward, and he's making all these statements. He put out a very catchy video like, oh, am I a flat earther? And it drew everybody in. And this is the perfect segue into this section here that we wanted to talk about, was how these people draw you in. And they want you to be their friend. And then once they've got you, like the spider to the fly, come into my web. And when they got you on the web, they wrap you up and destroy you. They suck the life out of you. So yeah, this is what they do. So Eric, I hear the dogs barking. They you perfectly identified him, and I think that you did a great job on that video. So everybody should go look that up. It's Eric Dubay versus Benjamin Owen. And it was a great expose. So I'm also really happy that he did that, because somebody else did that to me. And this guy who did this to me, and I brought this up before, but I don't like mentioning names. This other guy who did this to me, he sent somebody out the same way that Eric was lured into Benjamin Owen's realm. Some guy came to me and said, hey, I've been talking you up over on this other channel. And this guy, he really likes you, and he thinks you're doing great work. And of course you think, oh, well, that's nice. So I went there once and I listened for 5 minutes. I'm there. This isn't for me. So I just, got off of that. And then another time, the same guy came to me and he says, hey, you're going to be spotlighted on this channel today. You got to go over there now. You got to like go on this channel. Oh boy. So I had nothing better to do. So I went over there, and the host brought up a topic that I could talk about. So I went on. I said, I think I can add something to this topic. So he sent me the link and I went on, and I've talked about this before, but he lured me in. And as soon as I was, comfortable, and he started bringing on other spiders, and they totally just like yelled and screamed and wanted to destroy me and have me. If I had left, then they would have talked about me behind my back. And I thought about that, should I leave or should I wait? And so I waited as long as I possibly could. I got in one last lick and then I left. But even me leaving, he said that he kicked me off his channel. Okay, so if he clicked me off, we must have clicked at the same time, because I left. So these are things that you have to be careful about. They will try to discredit you, make fun of you, mock you. And so the guy's initials are VW. I would never waste my time on VW. All right. So the other thing is, I did a video this week, 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago? Yes, 2 nights ago. And it was on 3 videos that I was watching. they were all pretty good in the regards of one thing. They were very clear in what their intent was. So I called those out, and I made comments in them. So please go reference that video. But I wanted to bring this up because I'm like, I've had it up to here. No, I've had it up to here with these the big channels not standing up for us. I really feel very disappointed and let down by this one guy, and I've nicknamed him now Marshmallow, because he was in this interview and this woman was berating the Flat Earth Society, not the Flat Earth Society, the Flat Earthers, and brought up the Flat Earth Society, and this guy, Marshmallow, did not contradict her. He just let those things slide, like slide, you know, like not challenging her back. And that is an insult to me. That's an insult to all flat earthers. So I told him on my video. Go ahead,
Marilyn. Anytime that term comes up, Flat Earth Society, we should be like that.
Yes.
On it. No, do not go to the Flat Earth Society.
Yes. And this guy was warned, because it came up in a movie that he was in, and his mother said, oh, you're with the Flat Earth Society, and he never contradicted that. Okay, could that have been edited out? Maybe. So why didn't you come out afterwards and say, I said something about that, and I tried to straighten that out, and they edited it out? No, he never came out against that. As a matter of fact, he's been very soft and mushy about too many things. So that's why he now has the name of Marshmallow. So I'm going to continue calling him Marshmallow, because that's the way he's acting. And how do marshmallows get a crust? They need to be in the fire. So here's the fire for you, Marshmallow. So let's get a crust on you. Let's start acting like a true flat earther and love your fellow flat earthers more than you do these interviews. More than you love these interviews, you ought to be loving your flat earth family. Do you understand that? I'm done with that kind of stuff. We are getting smacked down and we are getting insulted far too often. So we're going to cut that out now. This is the last time. Come on. I can't call you a flat earther after this unless you stand up for the flat earthers. Do you understand this? You've got to stand up for flat earthers. You've got to defend the flat earthers. I give everybody chance after chance after chance. But if you want to call yourself a leader of the flat earthers, then you're going to have to act like a leader instead of a marshmallow. Marshmallows are not leaders, buddy.
Right.
So we don't want any marshmallows. Okay. So let's start acting like you care about us and you care about truth more than you care about subscribers and views.
Right.
Okay.
And money, because most of those people, they're making money doing it. And that was something that was brought up in that phone conversation that I told you about. Was tell
us about that. You can bring that up. Start talking about that phone conversation.
Okay, well, I got a call the other night. I think it was Thursday night, but it was a gentleman that called me concerning. First, it started out his concern of us. And I mean, you and me and everybody else that's out there teaching the flat earth, his concern about being, certified to be able to teach, to call ourselves a teacher. He was saying that, we should have a degree or some type of certification
Yeah.
to be able to teach
so
this.
tell me, is there any university that teaches flat Earth?
Maybe we should start one.
I did, and I am certified, and you're certified.
Yeah.
I am the official Flat Earth Teachers University right here.
Right. And when you get to the point that you know that this is true information that we are teaching, I think that certifies me.
Yep.
And you and everybody else that's teaching it to teach it. And I did compare it to being like a Sunday school teacher. And he did mention that he does know Sunday school teachers that are certified. And I'm sure they probably, well, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that they probably went through their church certification that says, this is what we want you to teach the children. And then they're certified.
Right.
But I don't think that there are many teachers out there, and I'm talking about beyond flat Earth, many teachers out there that have no degree, or at least not a degree in what they're teaching, and certification. You know, I don't think we need a degree or certification. What we need is to know that we know the truth.
Yep.
And I think that certifies us. But it was a very interesting conversation with this gentleman, and I hope he's listening today. He said he would, but he was legitimately concerned about the teachings of flat Earth. And he had mentioned about how you went to the school board and, you know, just called them out on what they're teaching the children. And let's see, he mentioned a few other things too. I'm not remembering off the top of my head about teaching, but one thing I wanted to say about it is that we talked a little bit about people that make money doing this. And I told him, I said, I don't make money, I lose money. I spend money out of my pocket on brochures and all the tools that I use to teach with. No one helps me pay for that. I pay for that out of my pocket.
Yep.
And I certainly don't make any money doing this. So I have no financial, monetary, value in it. That's not what I'm doing it for. So anyway, we did have a good conversation. I mean, we talked for about an hour and it was a very good conversation. But what I really respected about this man is that he respected me in his demeanor and his conversation. He talked to me respectfully. He asked questions and I tried to answer all the questions he asked. I asked him questions. He answered in a respectful manner. And that's why I made the comment at the first of the video about, we can't just dismiss people that are questioning us if they're doing it respectfully. Now, it's different if, when I'm out on the street and someone calls me a stupid idiot or a moron, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. I blow it off. But those are not the kind of people that, first of all, are going to listen to one damn word I say. They will hear nothing. And I don't want to waste my time with those people. But if they're standing in front of me and they have legitimate questions that they are asking with respect, we all had questions. When we first started learning this, I had a million questions.
Well, so let me say just something about that. Somebody will think that being respectful is just being calm. But you have to listen to that interview that I'm talking about. The last video I did, and there's 3 videos I discussed. So I don't like mentioning names. So just go to that video and you can't miss it.
Yeah, no, I already watched that video.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Karen, not just you, but that woman on there was respectful in her tone. But every word that came out of her mouth put us in the category of on the fringe, child molester, religious, what did she say? Extremist. She had all these things laid out that was so disrespectful, even though she said it in a nice way. So you can't just go by somebody's being respectful because they're not yelling, because they could be just totally disgusting in their words. So you got to watch out for that too. I am suggesting that that people like Marshmallows, if you're going to be a marshmallow, stay away from the press. Just do not even get an interview. Don't do interviews if you're going to do like you did. Just stay away from the press. If you don't know how to do battle, then don't enter the war. Stay at home. And there are jobs to be done behind the front lines. And you would probably be very good at comforting other people. But you are not good at handling the press. See, that's something I had written down for this marshmallow guy, that you should not be doing interviews. And I didn't even like the interview that he did with that astrophysicist. It was not on point. He was not sharp. He did not really teach flat earth. We have to be teaching flat earth in every situation that we're doing, everything, because they don't know what it is. And they're going to take opportunities. They will say, oh, like falling off the ball or falling off the edge, when they don't even know there is an edge. You know, so they'll say stupid things, and we have to teach them what the truth is, because they don't know it is. They don't know what it is. So, yeah, go ahead, Karen. You have something else on that?
Well, not too much. Well, he did suggest a particular video that, and I did watch it. It was the French astronauts that are on the ISS. And the whole thing was in French, so I did watch the video, but I couldn't understand anything because it was in French. But I did, and I meant to send you that video to get you to watch it to help me, I guess, maybe dissect it to see how did they do that. And
I don't know. I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Because I didn't send, I forgot to send it to you. I mentioned it, but I didn't send it to you.
Okay.
The way I looked at it was, I just recently heard someone say, and then I did some research on it, but the Lord of the Rings trilogy, that took 400 days to film, and their budget was $300 million. Now, they filmed all three of the trilogies in that 400 days.
Yeah.
And NASA gets $52 million a day. So in 1 week, their budget is over what Lord of the Rings was. That took them 400 days to create.
That's more than a year. That's a year and a half.
Yeah. So I can only imagine what $52 million a day can create. You know what I'm saying? Because the effects of I have not even watched any of the Lord of the Rings, but I've seen commercials about it and little trailers about it, and the special effects in that movie were out of this world. So I mean,
just like the ISS. The ISS.
Right. Yes. I'm thinking, you know, they've got some awesome special effects that is, you know, running $52 million a day. So that's what I came back out of with the video that he wanted me to watch. And I would like for you to watch it. I'll send it to you later.
Yeah. Well, with NASA, they have to also have actor training classes. and they have to teach all those people how to jump and yell and clap their hands at the same time when the rocket takes off. You know, yeah, yeah. You know, they have to make it look as though they're real excited about that. Did you see?
Right.
Oh, there was one. Was it China? Was it China that sent something up?
Oh yeah, to the dark side of the moon.
And it landed. It landed, and they're all sitting in the control room behind. Like there's 3 or 4 rows, and they all have the same suit on, a gray suit, and they're all sitting at their desks going like this, like they're so controlled. You know that. And they didn't even cheer and jump up and down. That's how controlled they are. So,
wow.
And that video was so juvenile. Oh my. So
I haven't even watched it. But and one thing I wanted to touch on, it kind of goes back to the sharing, teaching this information. And for people that can't get in front of a crowd of people that can talk, because you mentioned a one-on-one thing, which is what I try to focus on, one-on-one. And for example, it's this simple. A lady, one of my neighbors, came and knocked on my door the other day. And I had met her out on the streets before. Her name is Cookie. She lives in the neighborhood, and sweetest lady. So, and she's a little bit older, but anyway, she came and knocked on my door, and she had this little business card in her hand, and she said, "Hi, I just wanted to bring this by for you and invite you to my church this Sunday, and we're doing the play, The Passion." And I listened to everything she said, and actually it was for First Baptist Church downtown, and anyone who lives anywhere near Jacksonville knows that church. It takes up about 4 city blocks downtown. And anyway, so I actually probably 25 years ago went to this church. But anyhow, so I stood there and I listened to everything that she had to say about it. And I thanked her. I said, "Thank you so much for bringing this down to me." I said, "In fact, because you were so kind to do that, I have some information I would like to give you." And I had all my stuff out in the car because I keep it in the car so I can use it as I'm out and about. So we walked out to the car together. And of course, she saw the signs on my car. I pulled out some flat earth information, quite a few different things. And I have one page that list all the scripture verses that talk about flat earth, you know, and I gave her that, and she didn't laugh at me. She didn't say I'm crazy. She stood there and she listened to everything I said, and I gave her 4 or 5 different literatures that she could look at, you know, and I told her, I said, after you look at this, if you have any questions, come back and, you know, we'll talk about it. And she said, "Well, I think we live on a globe, but I am going to read your information and I will look up these scriptures and see what they say."
Great.
So but it's that easy. That whole conversation took like, I mean, from the time she knocked on my door until she left my driveway was like 10 minutes. So it doesn't take a lot of time, and it doesn't take a lot of, you know, even if you don't know that much, if you just became a flat earther and you're still doing research, just hand them something. If you can't say it, just hand it to them. Yeah, it's so easy. It's so easy to spread this word.
Right.
So that was an example I wanted to bring up. Oh, and I know I sent you a picture of my little Post-it note.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Talk about that.
You know, I had family in town this weekend, and last week we talked about family and flat earth. And so I thought I'm going to be around a lot of family this week because we had this funeral, and I had to pick up some cousins at the airport. So when I picked up one of my favorite cousins, she got in, and as she was going, we loaded her bag in the back of my truck, and then Forerunner, and then she was coming around the side to get in, and she stopped and she was reading the sign on my car, and she got in and she just looked at me and she said, "What does that mean?" I said, "Oh gosh, I'm so glad you asked." So we spent the conversation home is about a 35-minute drive from the airport. So we had a really good conversation about that. And several times during her stay here, she asked me several things about, why do I think it's flat? How did you come to learn this? And she was the main person I got to focus on. She has, well, it was one of her siblings that had passed. So now she has 4 other siblings that I know she is sharing this with. And I'm hoping to get a phone call any day from them. But anyway, so one of the days that she was here, Tuesday, we went out to the beach and we were walking on the beach. And of course, I stuck my little brochures in my back pocket and some business cards in this pocket, and as we were walking to the beach and back from the beach, I was handing them out. I said, "Here, take this with you, do some research." It's that easy. Just hand it. Here, take this with you and do some research. That's all you have to say.
Right.
So anyway, I get back to the car, and next to one of my signs on the truck was this Post-it note. And I just started laughing my butt off because the note said,
hold it up to the video camera really close, and I'll tell you if I can see it really good. That's too close. Back up a little bit. Yeah, there, that's pretty good. Can everybody see that? Okay.
It's so funny. It says, "Let me know when you want to go looking for Bigfoot." And they left their number, 904, you're stupid. And you know what my friend pointed out, I didn't even notice it, is that I'm stupid, but he spelled your, like you are, your, Y-O-U-R. No apostrophe R-E.
Oh,
So who's stupid?
yeah, yeah.
So that was a fun little thing I got this week.
That's good. That's precious.
I know. I love it when those things happen. I mean, some people get offended and it hurts their feelings. I don't know. Maybe I don't have any feelings, but it doesn't bother me.
I'm glad you brought that up. It used to bother me, and I think everybody when they first start out, because the first thing, if you're a true flat earther, the first thing you want to do is share it with everybody, especially those you love. And when they reject you, it hurts your feelings until you figure it out that they can't understand it. That's why we have to be teachers, because we need to teach them. But some of them, I mean, I told that it broke up my group that was meeting at my house here because they just couldn't handle it. They could handle 9/11 all the way down to it was a government inside job, but they could not go the flat earth route. They could not open their mind up that far.
Right.
So it takes somebody special to be a flat earth teacher. And somebody special has to love, I mean, beyond yourself, beyond your own feelings. You have to love them more than you love yourself. It's like you have to be able to overlook and forgive before they even reject you, because you know it's coming. So that's what you have to do. And you have to understand that we are flat earth teachers because they have no idea what it is. That's why another reason why I was mad at Marshmallow, because he was submissive to this interviewer, and she had no idea what flat earth was. It was obvious by her questions. And she not one time was it brought up that shouldn't society be demanding truth? Not once from either one of them. You would think that Marshmallow would know this.
Right.
So shouldn't we have a society based on truth? And everyone must follow truth. There cannot be lies without being punished. Now, I think we're being fooled by our court system into believing that they really want truth, but they only want it from us. They don't have to tell it.
Right.
See?
Right.
So the judges and the lawyers all get a pass on that truth stuff. And
right.
It's only us who are held up to that. There are two sets of rules, guys. You have to understand there's two sets. Them and us.
Right.
So go ahead, Karen. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to add my good buddy Brian over at High Impact Flicks. Do you watch him?
No.
He's not. I think he's a flat earther in the closet. He never talks about flat earth, but I'm pretty sure he is one or knows that, you know. He talks about your rights, what you have the right to do. He always says, truth does not care about your feelings.
Right.
It doesn't. Truth is truth. I'm sorry if the truth hurts you, offends you, you to listen to it.
Right.
I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings. It has nothing to do with your feelings. Truth is truth. So anyway, I just wanted to add.
That's how the controllers, the parasitic controllers, changed our society into one that is only concerned with feelings and not concerned about truth, because they know that truth can hurt your feelings. So if they make society all about feelings, then truth will be suppressed.
Right.
So if you work through that in your mind, you'll see how clear that is.
And for, you know, many years, I mean, we've heard the words, truth hurts. The truth hurts. Sometimes the truth hurts, you know, want to hear it.
Right.
And it hurts to hear it. But you have to put those feelings aside. And, oh, I'm sorry, I was getting a phone call. I had to turn it off.
That's okay.
You have to put your feelings aside and absorb the truth. Yeah,
you have to listen. You can't just, you know, if somebody's telling you something, you can't hold up your hand and say, talk to the hand. I mean, you have to listen, and then you have to evaluate, is there any validity to what they're saying? You know? So, but as far as talking to other people, all right, this is for all the Christians out there who are listening or who may listen. What did Jesus do? What did Christ do? He went out and told the truth. Okay, that's what got him killed. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get killed, but they're going to try and discredit us because we're telling truth. He went out.
I wonder what certification he had.
Yeah. Did he have a teaching degree? Oh,
right.
Good point.
Right.
I don't think too many people would say that to his face. I'd like somebody to say it to my face, and you'll get an earful.
Yeah.
But I have, we have the right to teach the truth. We have the right to call ourselves teachers. They do not corner the market on that word. So we are flat earth teachers.
Yes.
That's the way it is. And they want to attack that word so we can't use it because they want us to be known as activists. See, that's right. They're right on top of this. They have sent out their minions already to attack us on that word. Do you see how clear that is? You see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you're right about how people associate the term activist with protesting.
Yep.
I mean, even peaceful protesting. We're not really. I mean, we do have a protest. We are protesting the globe. The lie and the globe lie. Yes, but not. But I don't think that's how we should label ourselves. I like the teachers. I mean, I like that term.
Yep. Absolutely. Anything else with family and flat earth? Your neighbor came over. Oh, Pastors. I wanted to touch on pastors again. I don't think, sometimes when we're talking, we get like sidetracked a little bit and we don't say everything. And maybe I should write more things down. But it's the same thing with the doctors and the same thing with the pastors. Their schools have been taken over. So the medical schools have been taken over by the pharmaceuticals, and the seminaries have been taken over by the parasitic controllers. So the pastors are not going to be trained up in the way they should go. They're not being trained up in believing the whole Bible. They're being trained on how to mitigate. That's one word you need to understand. Mitigate means how to manage or manipulate a question from somebody going to your church about the flat earth. You say, well, we have to believe the globe and this is why, and go right to Isaiah 40:22 where it says circle of the earth, and look, the globe's a circle. So they're being trained in that, and they're being trained it's a mocking thing, and all the people who really believe the Bible are stupid. I mean, it's really obvious and evident to me that when a pastor does not go by scripture. So scripture has been marginalized, and the seminaries have been marginalized. Lots of things. Truth has been marginalized. So yeah, I would not, trust the pastors any further than I could throw them. They are avoiding this subject like the plague. So you can't go really there seeking help and advice. They're going to give They're going to give you the clergy response team response. And the clergy response team is follow government.
Right.
That's what they're going to tell you.
Right.
So, clergy response team, if you haven't heard this before, it's from the Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, all those agenda series. There's a clergy response team in there where the clergy have all been trained to just say, follow what the government says. So,
right.
Yeah, that's what you're going to get. So, do you have something more on that, or do we want to go to the next number 9, chat comments from last week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from last week, I went through the, because I can't see the chat either, so I don't know what's going on in there.
Yeah, I have it on, but they're not really doing a whole lot. I mean, Flat Earth Purveyor of Truth. I think there's 24 watching now. That's nice.
That's cool.
And we have.
Since you have, can I say something real quick to Steve? Steve's still on there, right?
Realm Walker, sure.
He's still on there. I've been trying to get a hold of him, but I don't have any way to personally contact him. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he could hang on the line for a second after we hang up, and I could give him my phone number or email or something.
Why don't you contact him through the Hangouts, because he's on the Hangout. You know what, Karen? I'm going to put you on our Hangout, on the old Hangout that we still do talk on there, but not as much anymore. But I will, Realm Walker's putting his email up there for you.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so that's two. You can do that too. But I'll put you on our old Hangout, and because that just stays open, and anybody who wants to put out a general message to all of us.
You can do it on that?
Yeah.
Now, is that under your other email?
No, here it is.
I have actually 2 Hangouts from you. One is just Maryland Spirit Level, and the other one is Maryland Spirit Level Gmail. Okay.
Well, I'll put you on the one with Flat Earthers. Okay.
Not the Gmail one.
Right.
I'm on the Gmail one.
So here's Red. It says Red Pill Chicago @gmail.com.
Okay, cool.
That's Realm Walker's email address.
I'm sorry, was it Gmail?
Yes.
Okay.
Red Pill Chicago, all one word, no spaces, at gmail.com.
All right, I got it. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's talk about the chat last week, because it wasn't, I don't think anyone on there was downright nasty and rude. That as soon as this person, I'm going to say Flat or Globe, I don't know if they're on there today or not, but they got pretty fed up with it last week. They brought up that Jesus is black, and then they pursued a conversation about that, and we're not really here talking about that, you know.
Yeah. We didn't bring that up at all on our conversation, did we?
I don't know how, as I was reading through the chat, it was just all of a sudden this was a blurb in there. Yeah. And Flat or Globe, their name, had already made several comments on there, but then all of a sudden this comment came out. And regardless of whether, you know, you believe that or not, that's not really what we were talking about. And I kind of wanted to focus the chats on what we're talking about, you know. But there was another person on there. Their name is Owl I11, Owl I11. I actually learned something from that person, and even though they were called, let's see, a shill, someone referred to this person as a shill, and may very well be, but I learned something from this person, a link that they put in the chat room, and it was, and I may be saying this wrong, but I think it's pronounced Kalergi Plan. It's Kalergi Plan, PLAN. Okay, now I printed this off of DutchAnarchy.com. And this is some very interesting information. I don't really want to go through it. It's another 25 pages. But and I haven't even read all of it, but maybe the first 8 to 10 pages I read. But I do want to go back and finish that. But, you know, just for people in the chat, if you want to do a little research on that, it's about the Jewish genocide of the white peoples of Europe. So it was very interesting. And although it didn't have really anything to do with what we were talking about, I did, you know, get that link was beneficial for me. So Owl I11 may well be a shill. I was trying to look at different things they had said. They talked about this Owl I11, mentioned that plan, the Council of the Nicaea, they mentioned that. That Christ came from the Essenes, which was sun worship. Harlequin, and I don't even know how to say this next word. Ichthyosis. Is that right?
Ichthyosis.
Okay. Were you familiar with that?
I know somebody who had ichthyosis.
Really?
Yeah.
That is some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So,
but it, I would say 99.9% of those people are sterile. So I don't know what causes that. It might be one of those RNA things, not a DNA thing. See, like
well, what I saw on the what the website I was looking at was saying that it was a mutation in the ABCA12 gene, that it's a mutation in that gene. This is the first time I've heard this, so I am just starting my research on that.
Well, and I'm going to say this again, if I can interject here, is that there's DNA and there's RNA. We've got to be careful about what we believe, because what we believe alters our actions. So if we believe it is a DNA thing, then we won't do anything about it. But if it is an RNA thing, there is a lot we can do about it. But if we believe it's DNA, we won't even look. See? So if we start acting as though we should be healing ourselves, we should be, I mean, what if it's one of these things where if they go into an old cathedral and get the right vibrations and sounds directed at them, they could be healed? What if it is this biomagnetics? If, you know, they could be healed from this thing if their spinal column is aligned correctly, and if they're detoxed and all this stuff. I mean, oxygen therapy. What if it's something like that? But we're getting these things because all these healings and knowledge have been taken away from us. Okay? And when you look at the Kalergi report or the Kalergi Plan, that may be how they are doing this to us. Okay. Now, why? And all those things, I think we touched a lot on that in this session here. I mean, why? I mean, and look at the Tartarian Empire that was destroyed, and why are they still destroying like Notre Dame? And they really want to hide this, and systematically, I think they have been destroying these buildings and all this ancient knowledge to keep it from us so that they can be thought of as in control and in power. Power and superior. Yes. Yeah. But what they don't understand is that they are just they have such reprobate minds, and scripture will tell you this. They have such reprobate minds, which means they think of evil continually, that they don't even see that if they destroy us, they will also be destroyed, because they are parasitic and they have to live off of us as
if they have nothing to feed off of,
as a culture, as a people. They need us. They need us. So if we are not around, how will they survive? See, they don't get that. And I've often thought this about all people who want to be in power and control. When you extrapolate that out and see where it will lead, all you see is destruction. You cannot see anything life-giving about that. So I don't know that they're even intelligent enough to foresee that, which makes you pause.
Right.
So you have to think about these things, everybody.
Right. And I think these days that we live in, just like scripture says, there is going to be a rapid expansion of knowledge. And I think all of these things that we are learning about, not just flat earth, I'm talking about all of these things that we're learning about. That's why we're learning these things.
Yes.
Because there is this expansion of knowledge, and it is there for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. And it's not for the ones that don't have eyes and ears. You know, they're living in their own little blinded path, and they're not gonna see. We have to open our eyes, open our ears, open our hearts, and look around us and observe. We have to use our senses and observe what's going on around us instead of living in this TV world, or even, I will even say, work world, where you're so focused on your job and you have to, and I'm not saying it's wrong to have you know, a good job and be into it. I hope everyone does work that they love and they can get into it. But when we put that above learning and finding new experiences, then I think that that's wrong. And it might even be where we get the word alcohol. I'm sorry, workaholic, you know, someone that is just so into their work that everything, they're in their own little work box and everything around them is just flying by and they're not even seeing it because they're so focused on one thing. And we could really apply that to a lot of things. You know, you can be so focused on one thing that you're not seeing the big picture. And that's what I'm hoping and praying for everyone, is that we can, you know, wake up and get in tune with this knowledge. And you and I both have just recently doing this research on the biomagnetic healing therapies.
Yes.
And that is incredible. And for anyone out there listening, if you're not familiar, I highly recommend doing some research. A Plain Truth 2 has some awesome videos on it.
Yeah.
And that's how Marilyn and I should say that's how I found about it maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And Marilyn is, Jamie, was he the first person that you heard about that from, or did you hear it from others?
Well,
Jamie from A Plain Truth.
It's very closely related to grounding.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So I have heard something similar before, but, you know, never really got into it until, you know, Flat Earth like opens all those doors.
Yes.
So I was researching health things, and I learned about hyperbaric oxygen therapy, but I really wasn't sure about the aligning of the. Oh, now look at this face. How can you not love that face? I'm keeping her safe from the mean old pit bull who's sitting right behind me.
Yeah.
So yes, once you come to Flat Earth, all those doors open up, and you wonder, could this be? And the more I'm learning about it, the more I like it. Because I hope you go to that seminar so you can report to us, and I can get the materials or videos from you and whatnot and learn it myself, because it seems to me to be something that an average person could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I have, you know, how I see it too from the research I've done. But that seminar is in Miami.
Yeah.
And I'm like an 8-hour drive from Miami, so I probably will not go.
Well, I drove 9 hours to go to the first conference.
Kudos to you.
If I can encourage you, make it a little vacation trip for you.
I will think about that.
Yeah,
I'll see if I can make that work.
Yeah. So, is there anything else on the chat from last time? Is there anything else? Does anybody have any questions they want to address to us right now on the chat? Anybody in the chat have something they want us to, a question they want us to answer? I know Mikey's on there. And Mikey, you're doing pretty good. You know, for a dog park, I think you've got some conversations. That's great. Try to go to some place that's a little busier now. You know, you can graduate and step up. I'll give you a certification as a Flat Earth teacher. You are hereby certified. And so now you can go someplace else that's got more people. But
I second that motion.
Yeah. And see, when you do have conversations, Mike, you know what to say. You're good at saying those things. So I don't see why you can't go someplace where there's just a few more people and have a few more of those conversations. I think you'd do great. Yeah.
Might be a little slow out and about today because I'm sure most people are probably in church. Even if they only go to church once or twice a year, today's one of the days they would go.
Yeah. So
But
anyone,
I think that covers it. I think that pretty much covers the chat.
yeah. Yeah, I think we need to not be marshmallows, because I'm going to be riding your behind there, Mr. Marshmallow. So don't make anything gross about that comment, please. But I don't want to hear that. I don't want to be offended anymore by you not defending Flat Earth or the Flat Earthers. Okay, so please start defending us. Please start, teaching the Flat Earth. Okay, start teaching it. It's really easy to do. It's easy to teach. You should get one of my banners. You should get a set of banners, my 4-foot wide, 5-foot tall banners, and I'll tell you how to put the pipes on them to make a frame, and you could set them up and you could learn how to teach the banners. It's very easy. You can follow one of my videos, or you can. I will help you any way I can. But I would love for you to start teaching the Flat Earth. Okay? So
I did a video. I sent it to David. That it was a video on building a PVC pipe for your banner, a PVC pipe frame for your banners. So I don't know. David's got that video. I don't know what he's going to do with it. But because I have I know you've got all kinds of banners, that I was trying to eliminate space that I take up on the street, sidewalk, whatever. And the way I did my banner, I mean, my frame is I can put 2 banners on it and flip them back and forth. It works great. I mean, I spent a lot of time flipping because I was in a small area. I didn't have the room to spread out some banners.
Right.
That would be ideal. But, if that's your excuse for not having multiple banners, you can build a banner that you can put build a frame that you can put multiple banners on and just flip them over.
Right.
Like a book, like you're going through a book.
Yep.
A big book.
Yeah. Dave Zoom Truth, he has done that. He has multiple banners on one bar, and it has like a stand. So it's like a T. And across the top of the T, he'll have multiple banners taped there so he can flip them over.
Nice. Yeah.
So he does that too.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that kind of wraps it up, doesn't it? You got a lot of things going on here. We went through a lot. We touched on a lot of topics. And I'm going to be going out this week to a college. And so I'll have a lot of video from that, and we'll be able to talk about that for next week. And please, anyone who has anything they want us to talk about, then let us know. We try to keep it to an hour, hour and a half. It's an hour and a half now. So, but we will get you in there. We will talk about it. So let us know what you think, and if you have any concerns or questions. Anything else, Karen?
No, that's it. I do have I have a meetup Monday night, so we'll see how that goes and go from there.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I gotta go here and mitigate all this stuff with this pit bull and my little payrollees here down here. Look at this face. Oh. Okay, guys. I really appreciate you coming and watching our show today. And
yeah, thank you.
I hope, where is a PA meetup? Oh, go to Facebook and Flat Earth PA, and I post all of our meetups on there, or Flat Earth New Jersey, NJ. So Flat Earth PA or Flat Earth NJ, and that's where I post meetups. If you want to contact me personally, it's Marilyn Teed, no spaces, at yahoo.com. Just contact me. We could meet up. I met up with other people one-on-one. So that's fine. And I will even meet up with you and your friends. It doesn't matter. I will go any public place. Okay. So I hope everybody had a great time listening today. And Anne's Eyes on Truth, thank you. Great show. Great day, everyone. All right. Thanks. I'm going to stop the broadcast, but Karen and I will say goodbye then off air. Okay. Have a great day.